Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. On today's webinar, we are going to explore the Wetu-Tourplan NX Wetu integration, as well as take a look at the new update feature and travel details. So my name is Simon, and with us today we have Lucius from Wetu-Tourplan South Africa, and we'll be taking you through today's events. We will first go over the integration process and all of the new enhancements, and this should take around 20 minutes, and then we will answer any questions at the end. What we are going to cover and have a look at is we will have a look at Wetu-Tourplan NX. Then we will be looking at sending your Wetu-Tourplan NX booking through to Wetu, connecting to your booking, the new update button, and we're going to take a look at the fresh new travel details, and then into the digital itinerary. So I'm going to hand over to Lucius from Wetu-Tourplan. You can take us through the Wetu-Tourplan process.
Thank you, Simon. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your time in joining our first joint Wetu and Tourplan webinar. So demo will be a high-level overview, and we'll try and keep it as simple as possible. So to start off, the demonstration will be on a Wetu-Tourplan NX system. For those of you who have not seen the Wetu-Tourplan NX system, the look is completely different, but the functionality that we'll be discussing today is virtually the same. So this is our dashboard menu. So from this dashboard, we're going to jump straight into our FIT module. Okay, so to save some time, we've already created a booking that we'll use for this demonstration. Okay, so we're just quickly going to find that booking. Okay, so if you go into a booking, this first screen that displays is our dashboard. So for this booking, we've got our booking name here, our booking reference, the travel date. I've put that well in advance with the current COVID situation. Hopefully by that time it's resolved. So all of these fields will pull through automatically to Wetu when we send this booking through, and that will show you a little bit later. So other details we can see here is all the different services in this booking. We'll come back to that in a few moments. And then right at the bottom, we've got a booking summary of all the different costs and totals for this booking to make sure we make enough profit. And some of these totals can also pull through to the Wetu system, like for example, your agent total. Okay, so just to delve into this booking a little bit deeper. So if we go to our tax traveling screen, I've got two people in this booking, Mr. Joe and Mrs. Anne, and these names will also pull through automatically to Wetu when we send this booking over. Okay, we're going to skip some of these other fields. We're going to go straight to our itinerary. So this is the default itinerary screen, and as you can see here, there's a whole bunch of services already in this booking. So let me just quickly customize some of these fields. So it's user definable. So I'm going to just make this field a little bit larger so we can see what's happening there. Maybe highlight it a little bit, and something else I'm just going to add in location so we can see what's happening there. Okay. Yeah, that's better. So let's start with the first service we've got in here. We're just quickly going to run through the services. The first one, we've got a flight, so international flight. If we just open that up, here you can see all the different flight details, and a lot of these details will also pull through to Wetu once we send this booking, which Simon will show us a little bit later. So if we just click on this next button, it's going to jump to our next service in this booking. Also still on day one is our car rental service, and here you can see things like the cost and the packs and so forth, but the main thing we're going to focus on quickly for now is the pickup and drop-off details. So here I've added some pickup and drop-off details, and these details can also automatically pull through to Wetu if you do send the booking a little bit later. Okay, so I'm just going to exit out of here. Let's just look at some of the other services. So I've got hotel supplier, 12 apostles, then some activities, another accommodation supplier. Then we've got a flight to Victoria Falls. We've got a transfer, another accommodation service, and then an activity, a Beaumont dinner. Okay, that's just to give you an idea of all the services in the booking. And then, so the last item we're quickly going to look at is our notes. So this is also something that you can send through to Wetu. So I'm just going to go to product notes. Okay, so under product notes, we can expand with one click all the different notes that's loaded for all these services. So for now, let's just pick one of them. And for example, this luxury room, if you go into this luxury room, you can see there's a whole bunch of notes loaded on that product or on that supplier. So let's just drill into one or two of them. If we take a look at, for example, the supplier itinerary note, if we open that up, so this details we typically use if we send documentation straight out of Tourplan, but we can also code your Wetu layout that it pulls this information automatically to their side when you do send the booking. So that's normally one people use. Another common one is something like the option rate includes. What is included in this rate for this specific service that I booked here? So that's all the details, just to give you an overview of what's happening in this booking. So now the next question is, we've got all of these details now sitting in Tourplan. How do we actually get these details into Wetu without redoing this whole itinerary? So very simple. We're going to go to Operation and Accounts, and we're going to go straight to Documentation. So for the Tourplan IS people that join the call, so from this screen, this is where you would send all your documentation out of the NX system. So what we do is we're just going to click on Generate Message. It's going to pop up a block for all the different types of messages that we can generate. And the one that we're going to use to send the message to Wetu is the Booking XML message. If we further drop down, there can be a few formats there. One with no notes, for example, one with notes. For this example, I'm just going to choose the specific one for this webinar. Click OK. As soon as you click OK, it's going to get all of the information in the booking and generate a document. And you don't have to worry with what's happening on the screen. All you do from your side is you just simply click the email button. As soon as you click that email button, this booking is now, in a matter of a few seconds, sent to the Wetu system. So just again for the Tourplan IS users, so similar for Tourplan IS, you click on the send button, and then you would select the Wetu code, and you just simply click send. So if you don't have the Wetu code set up, then you'll have to get in touch with either with us or with Wetu to help you set up that layout. And I think that's it from my side on the Tourplan side of things. Simon, I'm going to hand over to you now, and then you can take us further.
Okay, great. Thank you, Eusebius. I'll just share my screen. Okay, so we had a look at Tourplan NX as well as sending the booking through from Tourplan through to Wetu. Now we are going to have a look at what it looks like when we connect to the booking on the Wetu side. So for users, you will log into your Wetu dashboard, which looks like this, okay, with your username and password. And then you want to look for the connect button. So you'll click on connect, and that will open up your Wetu/Tourplan Tourplan connector screen, and this is home to all of the bookings that you send through from Tourplan. So in order for the booking to appear in your connector, you would have had to have sent it. If it's not appearing, that means that there is some other issue, and then you can contact myself or Tourplan to assist. But for the most part, when we do set up the integration, that is tested initially to ensure that your bookings do appear in your connector. So once we have sent that booking, or the booking that UCS is now sent from Tourplan, we will find it in our connector screen. And you can search using any of these search fields on top. So your name, reference, the agent attached to that booking, the date the booking was created, the travel date, and your booking status. So we want to click on Connect under the Action button. Clicking this Connect button is going to open up all of the services in your booking. Okay, so when we click there, it opens up the screen, and this will then display every single service you have loaded in Tourplan and pushed through. So like UCS was going over, we've got our flights, our car rental, the tour accommodations, activities, all of these services. We also then ensure that on the right-hand side, all of the services are mapped. Okay, this is also set up in the beginning stages of the integration, so we're not going to go through the mapping. When all services are mapped, you can click on the Proceed button, and that takes you through to the following screen, which is your location mapping screen. So quite different to the service mapping screen on this side. Okay, location mapping screen, these locations are pulling directly from your pickup and drop-off fields that UCS showed you in Tourplan. Okay, so if you load a pickup and drop-off location in Tourplan, they are going to pull through into Wetu. You can choose to map that location. All you are doing is you are telling Wetu to link it to the exact Google Maps location that we have listed, right? If you don't map it, then this location will not pull through. That's fine. You can manually insert it. I'll show you that when we get to the travel details side. Okay. So when all of your locations are mapped, you can click on the Proceed button and you will land on this screen. So this screen is telling you that you have successfully sent your booking from Tourplan. All of your services are mapped, and you can now enter into the Itinerary Folder. So we'll click on Itinerary Folder, and that opens up that. So a lot of you should be familiar with the Itinerary Folder. With the integration, what is happening is everything is being auto-populated for you. So it's just being pushed through from Tourplan, and it's now slotting into the correct fields in your Itinerary Folder. What is going to pull through is your itinerary name, your reference number, okay, for the booking. At the bottom here, you've got your number of travelers, so 2 adults. If we click on Enter Names, it's going to display the traveler names, so your PAX traveling names. Your total sell, so we've set it up in the XML script for the total sell to pull through, okay, for this booking. We can also pull through the price includes, excludes, and terms and conditions. This is all set up. It's a customized XML script. So if you, our client, want that information to pull through, then this is something that we discuss in the beginning stages of the integration so that we can tailor make your XML script for you. Okay, so we are able to pull those through. On your accommodation tab, all the accommodations that you're using in your booking are going to pull through automatically. Travel details. So for those who have been with us from the beginning, you will have noticed that travel details has had a little bit of a facelift. So what you're seeing under mode is you now have a little icon appearing, okay, next to the mode of travel that you're using. And then if you click on edit details, you will see that the form that pops up is now specific to that type of travel. Okay, so before it was a generic form, it's now specific to that type of travel. The nice thing about our flights is we have a flight lookup. So if you don't have all of the information populated in maybe in Tourplan, or you just don't have that information yet for the flight, what you can do is you can just enter your flight company. Okay, so we're just going to use British Airways. I will have to use a domestic flight number only because of COVID at the moment, so I'm struggling to get an international flight so far in advance. So you'll just enter in your flight number, okay, and then click on the Get Flight Details. When we do that, you'll see that it says Flight Found. This is a Joburg to Cape Town one, and then it will auto-populate all of those details, so the terminal, the flight time and arrival time, telephone number, the departure and arrival airport. I'm just going to click on Edit Details for a transfer so you can see the difference. You'll see that you can select different icons for your type of transfer that you'll be using. That's also new. You can also load. So if you click on Load Contacts, that's going to be any preloaded contacts that you have for that company that is going to pull through. If you want to add an arrangement, so this is also new. When we click on Add Arrangement, this window pops up and it's going to ask you what type of mode are you wanting to enter. So the reason why we've done this is because every single mode of travel has a different form. It's no longer just the generic form. Okay. So if we select something like a boat, you'll see that you can also change the icons. You can load any contacts, put in your ticket number. So each form is tailor-made to the type of mode of travel. Okay. Awesome. Then your planner, this is going to be day to day. So on day one, we have that overnight travel from Heathrow to Cape Town. On day two, however, we check into the 12 Apostles, and then we have an activity, which is the cable car. So you'll see that that note that you see us was showing you, the SIN note, that is now automatically pulling through because we've included it in the XML script. Okay. And that will appear over here. Anything that's included or excluded for the day is going to pull through over here, right? As long as you supply us with the note code. The review tab, again, this is just an overview of all of the tabs from step 1 to step 4, and then additional details. Now, to take you back to the connector screen, just to go over the updates enhancement that we have done. When you have connected to a booking, but you've made some changes, so you either had to add a new accommodation, take out an old accommodation, or you've had to insert an activity, something in the booking has changed, okay? Which means that you've made those changes into a plan. You don't want to redo the entire itinerary. All you want to do is update your existing itinerary with the changes you've made into a plan, okay? So important is I'm just going to refresh so we can get the update button. Important is you want to make those changes into a plan, and then you are going to send the booking again from Tourplan through to Wetu. You will find that booking. Okay, so here we have it, and you will see that we last connected to it X amount of hours ago, and now under action we have the option to update that booking. Okay, so what the update button is going to do is it will update the existing itinerary with all new services. Okay, but the new feature that we've put in place is all of your free text fields in the Itinerary Folder. What do you want to do with those? Okay, so if we go back to the Itinerary Builder, your free text fields are these. So price includes, excludes, planner, day itinerary, expert tips, included, excluded. All of these fields, as well as additional details, introduction, these are all free text fields. Okay, so we have 3 options with the update button. The first option is that you can ignore. So if you send the booking through, that means that any free text field that you have populated here, when you send through the updated booking, Wetu will ignore those changes. So it's not going to do anything to your existing free text fields. Okay. The second option is to overwrite. So that means that when you send the updated booking through, we are now going to overwrite those free text fields with the new information being pushed through. The third option, and the most popular that we have seen so far, is the append option. Okay, and that is that you are going to send the updated booking through, and we will hold these free text fields, and we are going to add in the new notes being pushed through. So we hold the existing, and the new note being pushed through, we are going to slot it underneath that. On top of that note, it will say note appended. So that gives you the option of, am I going to keep this note above, or am I going to remove it and keep the new note coming through? The reason why we did that is because a lot of the time, some clients are using a combination of note fields from Tourplan as well as entering things in manually. So if you're entering something in manually, you don't want to lose that information, so then you would use the append option. Okay, so that's a new functionality of the update button. That functionality, if you want to set that up, then you can chat to myself or Kent. Okay, and then obviously you just want to view your digital itinerary, explore, and this is what it would look like after sending it through from Tourplan through to Wetu. Okay, so that's it from me. What I do want to do now is open the floor up for any questions. If there are any, please feel free to raise your hand. Okay, Heinrich, will this also work for group bookings or only for FITs? So we are able to do this for groups as well. The same process applies. You create the group booking in Tourplan. I think it's just called group, the group version in the Tourplan NX. And then you just send it through. So the same process, send that booking through, services are mapped, and everything is displayed. Okay. Just want to check on timelines of mapping. Okay, so timelines of mapping, that depends on the amount of services that you send through. So we always work in conjunction with Tourplan in getting that list from you. We work with Tourplan to get that service list from you. So depending on the number of services that you are sending, let's give or take, let's say 1,000. If you have 1,000 service lines, that's going to take our mapping team a day to a day and a half to map. That's if our mapping team does the mapping for you. If you do the mapping, it all depends just on how much capacity you have on your end to do the bulk mapping yourself. But if it's with our mapping team, it should take them about a day to do 1,000 lines. With the update button, would we need to resend the itinerary to Wetu if there were new services? So yes, we would. If you're making any changes in Tourplan, you would need to resend the booking because we do not have a live connection. So in order for us to receive any of the information, you have to physically send it. So if you are making changes, then do please send it through again and then click on the update button. Can we get a printed version? Yes, you can. So that happens in your itinerary builder. If we can go through it, everyone can see the screen. You'll see here on the last tab, additional details, you have printable itinerary. You can click on that. I'm not going to go into too much detail on the functionality of printable. We do have other webinars available and we can book sessions on this, but it's simply just clicking printable itinerary and then downloading the itinerary. What that will do is it will download onto your computer as a Word document. And then what you can also do is you can attach that printable to your digital so that when you send the link to either an agent or a client, they will also have access to a printable version. So you see it's downloaded as a Word document. I'll just open that up. So I don't know if everyone can see it. Okay, so the Word document downloads, and then you can always either print it or you can attach it to your digital itinerary. Is this available for accommodation reservations as well? If you're meaning, are we able to just pull through accommodations, then yes. Okay, then we have another one. So on Wetu for travel details and planner, is that manually entered info or can it also be set up to come from NX Web? Yes, so all information within travel details can pull through automatically from Tourplan, as well as any information in your planner. So planner, what you'll see being pulled through is all of the services. So if you have an accommodation, that's automatically just going to slot into your planner, as well as any activities, as well as any notes that you have set up in your script. And then in travel details, the same applies. So if you're using any type of travel service in Tourplan and you've sent it through and it's mapped, it is going to automatically display. Is there training provided if we do not yet utilize Tourplan IS and Wetu integration? And what will the timeline have to implement it? Yes, there is. So that can be, the Tourplan side can be discussed with UCS and Yolandi from Tourplan. And then the Wetu side discussed with myself. We obviously do have a very good and close working relationship with Wetu and Tourplan, so we do prefer to do the integration in conjunction with each other. So if you are setting up the Tourplan, then we can set that up and have your Wetu integration set up at the same time. Again, this depends on the capacity that you have on your end. So it could take anywhere on the Wetu side from 2 weeks to a month to get your integration set up. That all depends on how invested you are in the process. And you are welcome to send an email through to myself and Tourplan. We will be sending out a mailer after this webinar though as well, okay, to assist you. Lisa says, hi, are these changes already done in Wetu? If I log in now, I think that pertains to the update button. So if you have made changes in Tourplan, you would need to resend them and click on the update button, and then those changes will reflect in Wetu. Okay. And then we have a question from Vicky. Can one send PCM sample itineraries through? So pre-costed module, I would just have to double check that with UCS.
So I think the short answer is no, you can't send a PCM itinerary straight from PCM. But what you can do is if you do pull that PCM into a booking, then you can send it through.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so Vicky, I hope that answers your question. And then we have a question from Sean with the update button. Would you need to resend the itinerary? Okay, so I think I'd answered that before reading this question. So yes, we would need to resend the itinerary to Wetu and then click on update. Okay, great. So thank you again for everyone for joining. I hope it was beneficial. Oh, hold on, Q&A. Would be interested in learning how to map the mishap part. Yes, so this is the first of many integration webinars to come. So if you would like one-on-one sessions to do with anything integration or Tourplan related, again, please contact myself and UCS. But we will be putting out more webinars. But to answer you, Jeremiah, yes, if you would like to do the mapping part, then we can set that up. Awesome. Thanks everyone so much for joining.